Fool, I'm gonna pop a cap rate in your ass. We're talking cap rates, y'all. It doesn't have to be boring. Cap rates can be fun because cap rates mean money in your pocket, in the investor's pocket, in everyone's pocket. Let's get started. My name is Bradley Jared and welcome to the Millennials Guide to Real Estate. Today we're talking about cap rates, one of the most popular metrics you will learn. What is it? What is it good for? What is it bad for? How to use it? Let's go. First of all, what is a cap rate? Cap rate, short for capitalization rate, is basically a simple formula that shows you how much cash is coming in, how much revenue is coming in for a property versus how much it costs to acquire that investment. So the actual formula is net operating income divided by price. Now, net operating income means, let's say you have a 10-unit building and you're getting rent from all these tenants, all that rent coming in, any parking fees or laundry services or storage units, everything you're bringing in, late fees, all that stuff, you add that up and then you subtract your expenses. So that's going to be taxes, your insurance, any maintenance and vacancies and property management, all that crap gets deducted. One thing you don't deduct, which is unlike cash on cash return, is financing and debt service. So if this is like assuming you pay cash for the property, which is basically one of the biggest flaws of the cap rate, but I'll go over that later. So let's take an example. You have this building, 10-unit building for $1 million that you could buy. You did all the math and saw that it brings in $120,000 a year. Now, $120,000 minus $50,000 in expenses per year, you're left with $80,000. You take $80,000 and divide it by that $1 million purchase price and you get 0.08, right? 0.8, 0.08, either way. 0.08, 0.8, yeah, 0.08, because 0.8 would be 80%. 0.08, you times that by 100, and that's going to equal 8%. Or if you are just good at decimals, 0.08, you know, is 8%. Obviously, I'm not. So you see how quickly you can get the cap rate. If you know the purchase price, you know how much money the place is bringing in, and you know how much the expenses are, you can easily calculate the cap rate. Now, that's the great part about it. The bad part is that it doesn't include everything, because it doesn't include your financing. And most people, even if they can afford to pay cash, would like to leverage their money and get a bigger property with a mortgage on it. So you would have to do your own calculations to include a mortgage payment so you know exactly what kind of cash flow you're looking for. It also doesn't touch on appreciation. Properties appreciate. You can depreciate things as well. This is only looking at cash flow. So it's great in a sense because if you care about cash flow, like I don't even care about appreciation. I just want to be able to receive a paycheck of this amount every single month. Cash flow is cap rate is going to be a lot more important to you. But overall, if your property can appreciate 20% more in one area versus another, and you're not calculating that in at all, well, then you're really missing out on a big portion. Because now $1 million property can go up to 1.2 million in this area, versus if yours stays the same, well, then you just lost out on 200 grand very easily. So I hope that's helped. Again, cap rates are very simple. They're great as a filter. They're great as a tool, but it does not tell the whole story. Your financing is not included. Appreciation is not included. A lot just gets left out of it. And then there's also something called a pro forma cap rate. So this is an actual cap rate. Pro forma is saying, well, if you do these upgrades, if you add a pool here, if you repaint the place, if you do more landscaping, you can increase the rents. And basically sellers will use pro formas a lot because they'll show you the potential of a property, and then all of a sudden the cap rate goes from 4% to 6.5% because they're showing you, oh, do all this and this will be what you can charge and this is how much money you'll receive. But the danger is that that's all nice and dandy, but it hasn't actually happened yet. So you don't trust that. You can't actually trust it. Be open-minded to how much work can be done and how much value you can add to a property so you can raise rents, but that does not mean that just because they say you can do a paint job and do all these things. You can raise rent by $100 and now your cap rate is through the roof. Because remember, their agenda is to sell their property and get out of it. So if they're doing that, then you've got to be savvy. Hope this has helped. Again, cap rates are awesome. Just use it. Don't abuse it. Thanks for tuning in to the Millennials Guide to Real Estate. My name is Bradley Jared, and I will see you guys next week. Also, please subscribe to my station up here. Check out my other videos, and let me know what you think. I will see you next time.